Ito po naman ng ating lecture since medyo konti pa ang nasa live. Papakita ko lang overview ng aaralin natin ngayong gabi. So, we will learn the parts of the X-ray tube. Ito. The internal components of the tube. Ano ba yung mga target materials na ginagamit. And the difference between your BREMS and characteristic. Your X-ray emission spectrum and the factors affecting the spectrum. So, yun siya. Hanggang yan, common terms related to the beam. Sige, so meron na tayong 15 viewers. Magsisimula na po tayo. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat sa mga bago pa po sa live natin. My name is Marian Hovelo. I'm a RadTech since 2019. Nagtuturo po ako. Since 2019 din, after graduation, nagturo na po ako. And then, currently, I'm still a lecturer, part-time lecturer at Riverside College, and nagtuturo din po ako ng part-time, contractual sa Remarkable Review Center. So, if you would like to see more of me, pwede po kayong mag-check sa page ng Remarkable. Meron po tayong mga reviewers under the yellow basket, which I will show you mamaya pagkatapos ng ating lecture. Sige, so X-ray production. Magsisimula tayo sa discovery of X-rays. Kung saan nga ba nagsimula ang ating work as RadTechs. Okay, so our work as RadTech dates back to November 8, 1895. November 8, 1895 at University of Würzburg Laboratory by Sir Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. So ito si Sir Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. Meron siyang darkened laboratory, nakapatay lahat ng ilaw. Meron siyang Crookes tube na nirigalo sa kanya, and this Crookes tube is covered with black paper. Just this one time, habang nasa laboratory siya, merong Crookes tube sa table niya. Merong Crookes tube. Sa tabi ng Crookes tube, merong plate made of barium platinocyanide. And he noticed that this barium platinocyanide plate is glowing. And every time ilalapit niya ang plate na ito sa Crookes tube, mas nag-i-intensify ang pag-glow ng plate made of barium platinocyanide. Okay, he named that phenomenon fluorescence. Okay, so again, fluorescence increased when it is closer to the tube. Okay, so during that time, dahil hindi niya pa alam kung bakit ba lumiliwanag ang plate, niname niya lang yung term na yon as X-rays. Okay, so dun talaga nagsimula ang work natin as RadTech, the discovery of Sir Wilhelm Conrad Röntgen. Okay? Sige. So, X-rays, meaning nun is unknown. Ang first picture natin or first radiograph is this image. This is the hand of his wife, Ma'am Anna Bertha Ludwig. Okay, so, yan, yung first radiograph natin. Kita nyo, meron pa siyang wedding ring. And ito yung laboratory nila before. Meron din siya actually assistant na namatay din during that time dahil sa radiation, si Sir Clarence Daly. If you are familiar with him or you're familiar with the discovery of X-rays, nandun lahat ng history of X-rays sa busyong natin. Okay, so merong timeline doon sa first few chapters ng busyong if you want to read more. Okay, so yun. Kasi noon, before pa na-discover yung mga radiation protection devices, hindi kasi nila alam na meron palang harmful effects ang radiation. Kaya ngayon, meron na tayong subjects such as radiation protection and biology to help improve din and to help us remember how to protect ourselves. Okay, so yun nga, dahil nga yung first assistant niya ay namatay din dahil sa radiation. Okay, so here are the principal parts of the tube. So, ang tube po natin, it's made of two sides. Meron siyang sides. Merong positive side and negative side. Okay, the positive side of the tube is called your anode side. Okay, anode side. While your negative side of the tube is the cathode side. Para hindi ninyo malimutan, just think anode. Okay, anong ibig sabihin ng think anode? That's think positive. Always think positive. Okay, so yun siya. So, we have the anode side and the cathode side. So, yun lang muna. Okay, so iisa-isahin natin, starting with the internal components, we have your cathode side. Again, your cathode side is the negative side of the X-ray tube. It has two primary parts, a filament and a focusing cup. Okay, ito po yung itsura ng filament. Dalawa siya, para siyang coil of wire. Yung isa maliit, yung isa malaki. Kaya din meron tayong small and large focal spot size. Okay, dahil din dito sa dalawang filament sizes natin. Okay, so ang nangyayari dito, the function of the filament is it heats up and releases electrons. This process is called thermionic emission and it's made of thoriated tungsten. So ang nangyayari dito guys, 'di ba nga, ang cathode side natin is the negative side of the tube. Okay, so meron siyang dalawang filament, coil of wires. Okay, dalawa siya. 'Di ba? If you notice, kapag nag-expose kayo doon sa laboratory, merong half push and then full push. Pag nag-half push po tayo, nagbibigay po tayo ng amperage or ng current sa ating machine, milliampere second, MAS. Diba? Ito yung dalawang factors na nakokontrol natin as RedTech, the KVP and MAS. Pag nag-half push po tayo, iniinit po natin ang filament, ready for exposure. Diba? Yun siya, ready. So, pag ready, umiinit po ang filament natin. And once this filament, kapag uminit siya, nagre-release siya ng electrons. Okay, so filament releases electrons or the boiling off of electrons. So the term for that is thermionic emission. Okay, so yun ang nangyayari sa pagre-ready natin ng machine. Umiinit or nagbibigay tayo ng current sa machine natin with the use of milliampere seconds. Of course, kapag mataas po ang MA, marami ang ating electrons na nare-release. Kapag matagal na time ang pinili natin, mas matagal din ang pagre-release ng electrons. Okay, so yun siya. Ang ating material of choice for the filament is thoriated tungsten, mainly because it has a high melting point. Kasi nga 'di ba, ang goal natin is painitin itong filament. So kailangan ang target material natin dito is yung hindi mabilis mag-melt. Okay? So that's why it doesn't burn out easily. Low vaporization, hindi po siya nag-evaporate easily. Kasi kapag nag-evaporate ito easily, kapag natunaw, nag-evaporate doon sa housing ng tube, it will cause tube failure. Okay? Ang thorium naman na additional dito is only 1 to 2% and ina-add si thorium to improve efficiency of electron emission. So that's why thoriated tungsten ang ginagamit natin. Mamaya ako na po sasagutin ang mga questions ha. Magbabackread lang po ako. Tapusin lang po natin ang lecture. Okay. Sige, next guys. Focusing cup. Dahil nga meron tayong dalawang filament sizes dito to focus the electrons. Kasi nga, 'di ba, papalabas tayo ng electrons here. So, yung electrons na to, para hindi sila mag-spread out, meron tayong focusing cup. Okay, so your focusing cup is negatively charged. Kasi nga, yung electrons natin, ano bang charge po ng electrons natin? Ano ang charge ng electrons po natin? Anyone na nakakaalam? Negative. Very good. Okay? negatively charged ang electrons po natin. And then yung focusing cup po natin is also negative. So kapag ang dalawang negative nagsama, ano ang mangyayari? Mag-a-attract ba sila or magre-repel? Attraction ba or repulsion? Repulsion. Repel. Yes, very good. Magre-repel po sila. Ibig sabihin, eto, yung focusing cup dito, ipupush niya yung electrons kasi nga, both are negatively charged. So, pagpunta dito ng electrons, hindi siya na-attract here. So, ang mangyayari, ipupush niya pa center. Kaya siya nafo-focus din into a smaller size. Nafo-focus siya papuntang target. Okay? So, your filament current, low current warms the filament, high current thermionic emission occurs. Okay? Next is the positive side of the tube. The anode side. Okay? Again, kapag i-drawing natin ang ating tube, ito siya, merong positive, merong negative. Okay? Sa negative side ng tube, again, meron tayong filament. Okay, meron tayong filament. Again, if we hit this filament, magre-release tayo ng electrons. Wait lang, guys. Okay, wait lang guys ha. Nawala tayo.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Okay. Sige, so eto siya guys. Again, once nag-boil off na po ang electrons natin, fino-focus siya ni focusing cup. And then papunta na siya doon sa target natin. Okay, so ang target natin again, nasa anode side or nasa positive side ng tube. Okay, so meron tayong dalawang types of anode. Yung stationary at rotating anode. Okay, so your stationary anode is used in dental, portable, or special purpose units na nangangailangan lang ng low current or low power. Okay, while your rotating anode naman is used in general purpose tubes for high intensity X-rays in short time. Okay, so the function of anode number 1 is as an electrical conductor. It receives electrons from the cathode and completes the circuit, and as mechanical support that holds the target. And it has a high heat dissipation of greater than 99% of electron energy converts to heat. Okay, so the materials of anode is copper, molybdenum, and graphite. Okay, so yun siya. Ito ang itsura ng ating anode. Again, meron tayong stationary anode and rotating anode. Okay, so for machines that requires low current lang or low voltage, ang ginagamit are stationary anode. So again, ginagamit ito sa dental or sa mga low current, low voltage machines. Okay, so here's the usual natin na target material. Again, it's tungsten because of its high melting point. And meron tayong copper here. And for the rotating anode naman, yung materials natin are tungsten. Usually sa stems is molybdenum and copper kasi nga, yung molybdenum and copper natin, it allows also sa pag-rotate nito ng efficient kasi magaan ang molybdenum and copper. Okay, so your stationary anode is a tungsten alloy embedded in copper, and the rotating anode naman is the entire disk is the target. So, ito siya guys. Ito. Usually, kapag stationary anode, ang target natin is embedded lang here. But sa rotating naman, lahat ng to nagro-rotate, and ito yung whole target natin. Okay, so for high-capacity tubes, ang ginagamit is molybdenum or graphite layers, while for mammography naman, ang ginagamit is molybdenum or rhodium. Mamaya, i-discuss natin bakit nga ba molybdenum or rhodium ang ginagamit na target for mammography. Okay? Sige, next tayo. The reason why tungsten is used for X-ray targets. Number one, it has a high atomic number. Kapag mataas po ang atomic number natin, it gives off or it produces X-rays efficiently and of high energy. Again, meaning, mas mataas ang atomic number, mas mataas ang energy of X-rays na binibigay natin. Kaya nga tayo gumagamit ng tungsten here. Okay, which has an atomic number of 74. And also, sorry, focus. Okay, and also it has a good thermal conductivity, nearly as good as copper, which dissipates heat effectively. So, hindi mabilis matunaw ang tungsten natin. And also, it has a high melting point of 3,400 degrees Celsius. Kasi nga sobrang init sa loob ng tube. Dahil nga gumagamit tayo ng heat, 'di ba, sa paggawa ng electrons doon. So kailangan yung target material natin could withstand high heat inside the tube. So kaya din tungsten ang napili nating target material. Okay, so here's the rotating anode X-ray tube. Again, the purpose of this is it spreads heat over a larger target area. Kasi nga, di ba, yung target area natin, if we compare it to the stationary anode, yung stationary anode target, dito lang siya. But yung rotating anode natin, the whole disk is the target. So, mas nasa-spread evenly ang heat sa ating target. Okay, so the rotation speed typically 3,400 to 10,000 RPM. Okay, so the anode stem is usually molybdenum and your rotor mechanism is induction motor. Okay, so di-discuss natin kung paano nangyayari ang X-ray production. Okay, so ito siya guys. Balik tayo sa two sides ng ating tube. Your tube is enclosed in a metal enclosure, of course. That's the first one. And it has two sides, the positive and the negative side. The positive side is the anode, while your negative side is the cathode. Your cathode has two parts, your filament here, dalawang sizes ng filament, and your focusing cup. Again, if we do half push, we create heat here in the filament, and that heat allows the filament to create electrons. Okay, so the boiling off of electrons again is termed as your thermionic emission. Okay, and then these electrons will be accelerated here papunta sa target natin. Just imagine I'm using a stationary anode. Okay, here we have two types of anode pala. We have stationary and rotating anode. Okay, so again, these electrons will be accelerated here papunta sa target. Ang target material po natin is usually tungsten. Okay, to withstand the heat inside the tube. Okay, so when a fast-moving electron hits a metal target, X-rays are produced. Okay, so kapag ito pong electrons na to, tumama sa target natin, nabubuo na po ang ating X-rays. Okay? Pero can you guess guys, how many percent lang ba ang nabubuong X-rays sa interaction na to? Ilang percent ang X-rays natin na nagagawa? 1. Very good. Okay, so sa lahat ng process na to guys, meron lang tayong 1% X-rays and the other percent is 99% heat. So ganun ka kalala ang init dito. Kaya meron tayong mga materials that could withstand great heat talaga. That's number 1, the tungsten. Okay, what's the boiling point again of tungsten? What's the boiling point of tungsten? Ilang degree Celsius ang boiling point ng tungsten? Yes, very good. 3,400 degrees for the boiling point, melting point of tungsten. Okay? Oops. Okay, proceed tayo guys to the electron interaction with matter, which number 1 is the Bremsstrahlung radiation. Okay, so Bremsstrahlung radiation is produced when fast electrons slow down near the nucleus. Ito, i-discuss po muna natin ang anatomy ng atom natin. Okay, sa loob ng atom natin, meron tayong nucleus and shells. Diba? Ano po ang nasa loob ng nucleus natin? What particles are inside your nucleus? Anong particles ang nasa loob ng nucleus? Dalawa po yun. Proton and neutron. Very good. Sa loob ng nucleus po natin, meron tayong protons and neutrons. Together, they are called protons and neutrons, together, they are called what? Nucleons. Very good. Protons and neutrons, together, they are called nucleons. Okay. Next. Sa labas naman po, or sa extranuclear portion, meron tayong isang particle pa dito. Ano po ang tawag doon? Particle sa labas or sa shell sa shell natin. Okay, very good. Electrons. Yung electrons natin nasa labas. We can name the shell starting with the letter K. Okay, K, L, M, N, and so on. Okay, so yun magpangalan ng ating nucleus. Ng ating shell ng atom natin. Okay, so kanina, 'di ba, na-discuss natin na meron tayong boiling off of electrons dito. And tatama siya sa ating tungsten target and nakakagawa tayo ng X-rays natin. The number 1 type of radiation na nagagawa natin sa interaction na to is your Bremsstrahlung radiation. Brems radiation. That's number 1. 1 type of radiation na nagagawa natin. Okay, so again, yung electron galing po sa ating filament. Diba? Fast-moving electron. Ito, yung electron na to, galing to sa filament. Gumagalaw siya, kaya tatawagin natin siyang projectile electron. Okay? Yung projectile electron natin, ito, is produced, your Bremsstrahlung radiation is produced when fast electrons slow down near the nucleus. Energy loss is released as X-ray photons. Your Bremsstrahlung is a German word that means slowed down radiation. Okay, so can range from very low up to the electron's kinetic energy, and most X-rays have intermediate energies, different from characteristic energies which have specific fixed energies. Okay, so again, yung electrons galing filament, fast-moving electrons, papalapit sa tungsten. This is a tungsten atom. Pag malapit na siya sa nucleus, nagbe-breakdown siya or nagsuslow down siya. Pag slow down niyang ganyan, 'di ba? If you slow down, gaya ng nagjo-jogging kayo, 'di ba? If you slow down, you release your excess energy. Okay? So pag slow down niyang ganyan, nagre-release siya ng excess energy. That excess energy is in the form of Bremsstrahlung radiation. Your Bremsstrahlung radiation is not a fixed energy. The higher the deflection, or the higher yung liko niya, okay, so for example, this is another projectile electron. Tatama dito. And pag liko ng ganyan, mas malaki ang pagliko niya, 'di ba? So mas mataas din ang energy or yung Bremsstrahlung radiation na i-release niya. Kaya meron tayong variation of energies sa Bremsstrahlung radiation. Iba pa siya sa characteristic radiation. Okay? So again, that's the first electron interaction with matter. Bremsstrahlung radiation. Okay, next, ito. Para mas ma-visualize ninyo, guys. Here's a projectile electron. Yung projectile electron, again, saan galing ito, guys? Saan galing again si projectile electrons para sa mga na-late ng pasok? Saan ulit galing si projectile? Yes, sa filament natin. Okay? So, sa filament galing si projectile electron. Okay. Next. Next is characteristic radiation. Your characteristic radiation is produced when a projectile electron knocks out an inner shell electron, usually a K shell, from a target atom. Okay, ito guys. Your projectile electron hits a K shell electron. Okay, ito yung projectile electron galing here. Okay, yung projectile electron natin, na-kick out niya yung K shell electron. Ano ang tawag po natin if meron tayong removal of electron from an atom? What's the term for removal of an electron from an atom? Removal of electron from an atom. Ionization. Very good. Ionization. Okay? Ionization occurred. Okay? So, na-kick out ang K shell electron natin. So, ngayon, meron tayong vacancy here. Okay? Merong vacancy. Okay? So, an outer shell electron falls into the vacancy. The energy difference between the shells is emitted as an X-ray photon. Okay? So, ito guys, ang nangyayari, merong vacancy dito. May bakanting upuan. Ngayon, yung L-shell electron, dahil may bakanting upuan dito, pupunta siya sa bakanting upuan. So, your L-shell electron migrates towards the K-shell. Okay? And once napunta siya dito, nagre-release siya ng excess energy in the form of characteristic radiation. Okay? Here's another one. Dahil nga pumunta na dito si L-shell electron, meron na namang vacancy dito. So, ang mangyayari, yung M-shell electron, dahil merong vacancy dito, pupunta na naman sa L-shell electron. And meron silang energy differences, kaya magre-release na naman siya ng characteristic radiation. Okay? Kaya meron tayong fixed energies sa ating characteristic radiation din. Kasi ang difference ng K to L, iisa lang. Yung L to M, iisa lang. Okay? So, let's just think of it as, eto nga, merong bakanting upuan dito. Tapos, itong si L, gusto niyang pumunta sa bakanting upuan. Kaso lang, sobrang taba niya. So, he needs to lose weight to fill this vacancy. So, ang pag-lose ng weight na-release as characteristic radiation. Okay, ganun din dito. Dito sa shell na to. Okay? Maliit lang yung upuan, kaya kailangan niyang mag-lose weight. So, ang pag-lose ng weight is termed as characteristic radiation. Okay? So, ang paglipat-lipat po ng electrons natin, it's termed as your electron cascade. Electron cascade. Okay? So, yun siya. Okay? So, that's our electron interaction with matter. Okay? So, types of characteristic X-rays. Your K X-rays, electron transitions into K shell, are high-energy X-rays, which is useful diagnostically. Usually, ito lang po ang napapakinabangan natin, yung K X-rays. While your LMNO X-rays and so on transitions to LMN or O shells, which are low energy and mostly not useful for imaging. Okay, so ang useful lang talaga na characteristic radiation is your K X-rays. Okay, so yun siya. Mamaya, babalikan natin from the top ang paggawa ng X-rays natin. Okay? Sige, proceed muna ako guys. Mamaya magsa-summary tayo para hindi ninyo makalimutan. Okay, so next is your emission spectrum. Ang emission spectrum natin, para siyang graph, guys, na tinitingnan natin kung ilan ba ang number of X-rays, yung X-ray energy natin. So, ito siya. It's a plot showing number of X-rays emitted versus their energy and help describe radiation output of an X-ray tube. So, kung titingnan natin, guys, ito yung graph natin. Yung pataas, that's the number of X-rays or the quantity. Okay? While here naman, if more on the right siya, yung pa-curve nito, it's your X-ray quality. Okay? X-ray energy or X-ray quality. Ito na lang. X-ray quantity versus quality. Okay, quantity, sometimes termed also as the intensity. It's how many X-rays are produced and the area under the spectrum curve. While your quality or the penetrability or energy of the beam, it's how hard or energetic the X-rays are. Okay, so kung titingnan guys, if mataas yung ating plot here, mas marami daw ang X-ray quantity kasi nga ito yung number of photons. Okay, so kung titingnan here, A, B. Kung titingnan, mas mataas po ang B natin na plot. So, meaning, mas madami ang number of photons na nagawa natin dito sa B. The same as their energy. Ito yung A, yung maximum energy niya is nasa 80 kVp lang. So, more on the left lang ang ating spectrum. While dito naman sa B, more on the right din siya hanggang 140 kVp, kaya dito siya. Currently taking extra bachelor's degree, RRT from TikTok University. Yes, marami na tayong napagraduate na pa-RRT last year, 2025, sa TikTok University. May community na tayo dito sa TikTok University. If you want, guys, actually, you can make a group chat and add me sa group chat. Kasi hindi ako marunong mag-add ng group chat. Kanina, tinry ko. Para naman, if may mga tanong kayo, I could answer the questions sa group chat if gagawa po kayo. I-add nyo lang po ako. Okay, sige. Kaya siya tinerm dito guys na hard X-rays kasi nga yung high energy X-rays natin, high energy X-rays, okay, are termed as hard X-rays. Yung low energy X-rays naman are termed as soft X-rays. Recorded po ba tong lecture ninyo? Nare-record naman siya. Nare-record siya, pero hindi ko siya ma-post lang ng isang post kasi parang may limit lang na ilang minutes. So, yung mga highlights lang po ang pinopost ko. Baka sa susunod, gagawa na lang tayo ng YouTube channel para mas full ang ating lectures na napopost. Pero sa TikTok kasi parang may limit lang. Wala pa po akong YouTube, pero gagawa po ako soon para may po kayo, may reference kayo sa pagbo-board review. Okay, so here are the factors affecting our spectrum. Number 1 is your MA or MAS, tube current and time. Okay, so again, yung MA or MAS natin, this one dictates kung gaano karami ang ating X-ray photons, the number of X-ray photons produced. Paano naman siya nakaka-affect sa number of X-ray photons? Number 1, it increases the number of electrons hitting the target. Okay, so kung mas marami po tayo or mas mataas ang MAS, diba nga, doon sa filament, paulit-ulit lang to guys, doon sa filament, nag-half push tayo, so nagbibigay tayo ng init. The more na mas mataas ang MAS natin, mas iinit itong filament. Pag mas nag-init ang filament, mas marami po tayong mabibigay na electrons. Diba nga, yung electrons, yung X-rays, nagagawa siya when a fast-moving electron hits a metal target. Okay, so kung mas marami ang electrons, mas marami ang tumatama sa target, mas marami po ang nagagawa nating X-ray photons. Okay, so the main controlling factor of X-ray quantity, gaano karami, is your MAS. Usually, MA. Yung time naman po natin, kasi of course, kapag nagbigay tayo ng 2 seconds, we compare it sa pagbibigay ng 6 seconds. Mas marami naman tayong maproproduce na electrons sa 6 seconds compared to the 2 seconds. Kaya, magkasama lagi si MA at time. Okay? So, kapag magde-decrease kayo sa MA, i-increase, pwede kayo mag-increase sa seconds. The same output. Okay? So, yun siya. Kasi nga, di ba, merong mga pasyente na bata, kapag bata ang pasyente, ano ba yung mga considerations natin? Gumagalaw ang bata. So, I have to expose quickly. So, bababaan ko si time. So, I will compensate sa pagdami ng paggawa ng electrons ko. Okay? So, yun. Yun ang kanilang relationship. Okay? So, twice the MA, twice the X-rays at all energies. The spectrum amplitude increases, but the shape stays the same. So, kung titingnan ninyo guys, ito, diba? Mas mataas yung plot natin, pero yung shape niya pareho pa rin. Okay? Sige, next is your kilovoltage peak. So, your kilovoltage peak naman determines the maximum electron energy or the maximum X-ray energy. Your spectrum shifts to higher energy to the right. Ito siya. Okay, to the right naman siya. Kapag mataas ang energy, mas mataas, mas to the right ito. Okay, so more X-ray energy, more X-rays produced at all energies, especially high energy X-rays. Rule of thumb, if we increase 15%, approximately 15% sa KVP, it's like doubling the MAS in terms of image receptor exposure. So, paano ko ba i-explain to? Pag sinabi nating image receptor exposure, guys, here's the patient. Here's the X-ray tube. Here's the IR. Pag sinabi nating image receptor exposure, natamaan po ng X-rays natin ang ating IR. Okay, nagiging black yan kapag tumama dito. Okay? Kapag daw nag-increase tayo ng KVP by 15%, kasi nga, 'di ba, yung MAS natin, it controls the number of X-rays. Kapag mas marami tayong number of X-rays, of course, mas iitim ito. Okay? Kasi mas madami tayong na-produce na X-rays. Okay? Kapag nag-increase tayo ng 15% sa KVP, it's like daw doubling the MAS. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin lang guys, kapag kasi konti ang energy ng X-rays, for example, ito, low energy X-ray. Low energy X-ray. Okay? Dito pa lang, wala ng energy, so namamatay. So, wala tayong nako-contribute sa image exposure. Pero kapag tataasan natin ang KVP, lahat ng X-rays tumatama sa IR. Kaya nagko-contribute din sa blackness ng radiograph. Kaya meron tayong 15% KVP rule. Meaning, if you want na babaan si KVP by 15%, dapat para pareho pa rin ang image receptor exposure natin, dapat tumuas kayo by times 2 sa ating MAS. Okay, that's the 15% KVP rule. In cases naman na gusto nyong magtaas ng KVP by 15%, bababaan nyo naman by 2 ang MAS. Meron siyang formula guys, pero hindi ko na muna ituturo. Okay, basta yun lang. Okay, para mas magets ninyo ang ating spectrum. Okay, next is added filtration. Pag sinabi nating added filtration, si filtration, makikita siya usually, diba? This is the X-ray tube. Nakagawa na tayo ng X-rays dito, may collimator dito. Before pa lumabas yung X-rays natin, filter out pa natin dito, or sinasala pa natin yung ating X-rays. Kasi nga, meron pa tayong low energy X-rays. Hindi lahat ng X-rays natin are beneficial or good for image formation. Meron doon low energy. Again, ang tawag sa low energy are soft X-rays. Okay, so filter out natin ang mga mababang energy na X-rays kasi nga hindi siya beneficial sa images natin. It could just contribute to the image noise or the patient dose. Okay, so ang nag-filter dito usually ang ginagamit is aluminum filter. aluminum filter. Okay? So again, finifilter niya yung mga soft X-rays. Okay? Question guys, kapag nag-filter out ang soft X-rays dito, ano ang nangyayari sa X-ray quantity? Bumababa ba or tumataas ang X-ray quantity kapag nag-filter tayo ng soft X-ray? Tataas ba or bababa? De-decrease ba or i-increase? Decrease, very good. Dumidecrease ang ating X-ray quantity. Pero yung average quality of the beam, average energies ay tumataas. Okay, so yun siya. Okay, so kung titingnan dito guys, if you compare the 2 mm aluminum added filtration to 4 mm, yung ating pong number of X-rays mas mababa compared to the 2 mm. Kasi nga, na-filter out po natin yung soft X-ray. Beam hardening effect, tama. Beam hardening effect po ang tawag doon. Okay, so the beam is harder, meaning higher average energy. Okay, so the intensity decreases but quality increases. Okay? So yun ang ating importance of filtration. Next is the target material. Again, what's the target material for our X-ray? X-ray tube? Target material for the X-ray tube. Our X-ray tube is made of tungsten. Very good. Our X-ray tube or the standard general X-rays are tungsten, okay, which has an atomic number of 74. While your molybdenum and rhodium naman is used for mammography, which creates lower energy X-rays. Meaning po, kapag mataas po ang atomic number natin, mas mataas ang energy of X-rays na naproproduce. Kapag mababa naman ang atomic number, mas mababa din ang energy of X-rays produced. So, bakit ba nagmamatter ito, guys? Ano ba ang usual natin na ini-image sa general X-rays? Diba? Those are the bones, soft tissues, or mostly bones. Diba? While for mammogram naman, ang ini-image naman natin dito is your soft tissue. Okay? So, kung titingnan, guys, ito ang dahilan yan. Okay, so if I expose two tissues, number 1 is bone, number 2 is breast. So, breast is a soft tissue or fat. Ang forma ng bone or the density of the bone is higher than the soft tissue. So, if i-draw ko siya, ganito ang itsura ng ating buto. Okay, while your soft tissue naman, may spaces siya. Okay? Dito yung IR. Dito yung X-rays natin. Okay, kapag tumama ang X-rays sa buto, wala na akong malulusutan dito. Okay, meaning wala akong IR exposure. Kaya ano ba ang kulay ng buto sa ating X-rays? Ano ang kulay ng buto sa X-rays? White, diba? Or they are radiopaque in appearance. Kasi nga, wala tayong IR exposure na naganap dito. Okay? Wala tayong IR exposure, kaya puti ito. Okay, now, merong X-rays, tumama siya sa fats or soft tissue. Okay, so pwede akong lumusot sa soft tissue hanggang tumama sa IR. Kaya meron tayong blackening. Ang tawag dito, radiolucent appearance. Okay, so balik tayo. Balik tayo sa bakit kailangan natin ng high atomic number na target material for general X-rays. Kasi nga, sa general X-rays, usually, ang gusto nating kunan, most of the structure, paiba-iba. Merong soft tissue, may air, may bones. So, merong variation ng structures, diba? So, kapag ganito, kapag tumama siya sa buto, kailangan niya ng higher energy X-rays to compensate sa anatomy na gusto nating kunan. Kaya gumagamit tayo ng tungsten dito, which has an atomic number of 74. Whereas naman sa breast natin, yung breast natin kasi mostly it's adipose tissue, soft tissue lang siya. So, pwede tayong gumamit ng mga low energy X-rays. Kasi kapag gumamit pa tayo ng high energy X-rays dito, ang mangyayari, sobrang taas ng ating IR exposure. So, mag-iitim na or iitim na ang ating IR or ating image. Okay, yes, sunog na. So, that's why kapag tatanungin kayo kung bakit iba ang target material sa mammogram or sa mammography, it's because of this. Kasi nga, ang usual nating ini-image sa mammogram is the breast or the soft tissues. Okay, so ang mammogram natin gumagamit ng molybdenum and rhodium targets which only has 42 to 45 atomic number. Mas mababa siya. Okay? So the higher the atomic number, more high energy Bremsstrahlung long X-rays. But your characteristic X-ray energy increases with atomic number as well. Last factor affecting our emission spectrum is your voltage waveform or generator type. Okay, so noon gumagamit tayo ng mga single phase types. Okay, so your single phase has lots of ripples or it creates ripples which gives off energy fluctuation. Kaya ito. Okay, so mas maganda gumamit ng three-phase or high-frequency generator because this type of generator creates less ripple, more constant, higher energy X-rays. Okay? How about po sa two types of X-rays produced? Tapos na po kami pero magsa-summarize tayo mamaya, ha? Summarize tayo after this one. Simula sa first part. Tapos na yung BREMS at characteristic. Okay, so next are the common terms related to the X-ray beam. Number 1 is the primary beam. Kasi nga, after dito, gumawa tayo ng X-rays na filter out ang soft X-rays. Kapag lumabas na dito yung X-rays natin, ang tawag po dito is primary beam. Okay, before it interacts with the patient, the term for that is primary beam, primary radiation, or incident photons. Okay, next is your exit or remnant beam. Your exit or remnant beam naman are those type of radiation that interacted with the patient already. Remnant beam. Okay, so kapag tumama na sa object or sa patient natin and then lumabas dito, that's actually your remnant or exit beam. Kaya tayo merong grayness, blackness, whiteness sa radiograph. Due to, number 1, either by absorption, scattering ba yan? So, next topic naman siya yan. So, yung X-rays interaction with matter, doon napapasok dito. So, ang lumalabas sa patient na beam, your image formation beam, image forming beam, are your remnant or exit beam or exit radiation. And next one is your leakage radiation. Your leakage radiation are the type of radiation that exits the tube housing, while your scattered radiation naman is yung lumalabas sa patient. Okay? Kaya ito yung nagko-contribute sa dosage natin as Radtex. Pag tumama dito yung primary beam sa patient, hindi lahat pumupunta sa IR. Some of it lumalabas sa pasyente. Okay, so ito yung nagiging cause ng exposure natin sa IR. Kaya dapat din nating ingatan ang sarili natin. Kasi kahit wala tayo dito, wala tayo sa primary beam, meron pa rin tayong exposure because of scattered radiation. Okay, meron mga factors affecting our scattered radiation, pero papasok na siya sa relationships natin sa IPE. Okay, next is your off-focus or stem radiation. Your off-focus or stem radiation naman guys, ito yung mga types of radiation na hindi tumama sa target. Your extrafocal X-rays. So, imbis na tumama dito sa target, tumama siya sa stem or dito, that's your extrafocal radiation. Or your off-focus or stem radiation. Okay, so yun ang ating X-ray production. Okay, so again, mag-review tayo from the top. Two types of X-ray produce. Mag-backread muna ako sandali. Baka may questions kayo. Sana tomorrow positioning naman. Tingnan po natin kapag makaka-positioning tayo tomorrow. YouTube lecture, titingnan natin. Sige, go guys. Punta na tayo sa summary of everything that we've discussed. Okay, so again, we have your X-ray tube. Ay! Sige, questions. Ibuga nyo na lahat ng questions ninyo. Sige, review tayo again ha. Summary of everything. Here's your X-ray tube. Sa mga latecomers, welcome po sa live. Patapos na po kami. Magsa-summarize na lang po kami. Okay, so here's our X-ray tube. Our X-ray tube has two parts or two sides of the tube. We have your positive and negative side of the tube. The positive side of the tube is called your anode side. Kapag nakalimutan, just think anode. Okay, meaning think positive always. Okay, the negative side of the tube naman is your cathode. Okay, so your cathode has two parts, your filament, dalawang filament, and your focusing cup. Okay, the purpose of focusing cup is to focus the electrons produced inside the filament. Okay, so kapag nag-half push po tayo, magbibigay po tayo ng current sa ating filament. Kapag nagbigay tayo ng current sa filament, umiinit ang filament natin. This heat now gives off our electrons. The boiling off of electrons is termed as your thermionic emission. Okay, thermionic emission. These electrons now is pupunta sa target with the use of our kVp or kilovoltage peak. Binibigyan natin ng energy itong electrons na pumunta dito sa target. Ang tawag dito is electron acceleration. Electron acceleration. Okay, diba? Half push, full push. So, kanina, merong nagtanong, paano kapag hindi na full push or binitawan habang half push? So, ang mangyayari guys, wala tayong image formation. Kasi nga, hindi tayo nag-full push, hindi natin na-accelerate itong electrons papunta dito sa target. Remember, X-rays are only produced if a fast-moving electron from the filament hits a metal target. Okay? Dito na papasok yung electron interaction with matter natin. The usual target material is your tungsten, while your filament naman na material is made of thoriated tungsten. Okay, tungsten for high heat dissipation and thorium for higher efficiency sa paggawa ng electrons. Your tungsten, ginagamit din siya dahil mataas ang melting point, mataas din ang atomic number which is 74. Mas mataas ang atomic number, mas mataas ang energy of X-rays na na-produce natin. Okay, so again, we can produce now X-rays, electrons. When a fast-moving electron hits a metal target, nabubuo na po ang ating X-rays. Meron po tayong nabubuong 1% X-rays and 99% heat. These 1% X-rays is divided into two. or meron tayong nagagawang two types of radiation here. We have your BREMS and characteristic radiation. Simula tayo sa BREMS. Your bremsstrahlung radiation is produced, again, diba? When fast-moving electron galing to sa filament hits a metal target, your target is tungsten. Okay, this is a tungsten atom. Your bremsstrahlung radiation is produced when a projectile electron hits tungsten atom and then lumapit siya malapit sa nucleus. Okay, kapag lumapit na siya sa nucleus, nag-slow down siya. Ang pag-slow down nito, lumiko siya or nag-deflect siya. Pag nag-slow down, magre-release ng excess energy in the form of bremsstrahlung radiation. The higher the deflection, the higher the energy of bremsstrahlung radiation. Kapag maliit ang angle of deflection, mas maliit din ang bremsstrahlung radiation energy. Kaya yung bremsstrahlung radiation natin, these are the type of radiation na walang fixed energies. Paiba-iba ang energies sa bremsstrahlung radiation. The other type of radiation is characteristic radiation. Ang nangyayari dito, this is the nucleus, the extranuclear portion, meron tayong K, L, M shell. Merong mga electrons sa shells. Again, when a fast-moving electron hits a metal target, X-rays are produced. So, papalapit ang projectile electron natin dito sa K-shell electron. Tumama siya sa K-shell electron, na-ionize ang K-shell electron. Ionization po ang term for the removal of electron. Na-ionize. Pag-ionize na to, nagkaroon ng gap, ng vacancy. Naging vacant ito. Dahil vacant itong slot na to, si L-shell electron gustong pumalit dito sa vacancy, mag-fill in ng vacancy. Kaso nga lang mataba si L-shell electron, kaya gusto niya munang magpapayat. Ang pagpapapayat ni L-shell electron na i-release po niya as excess energy or your characteristic radiation. Okay? So, napunta na dito si L-shell electron. Now, meron again vacancy sa L-shell. Gustong pumalit ni M-shell. Kaso nga lang, mas mataba si M-shell electron compared to the L-shell electron. So, nagpapayat uli siya. Nag-release again siya ng characteristic radiation. Ang tawag po sa pag-fill in ng vacancy dito is your electron cascade. Okay, electron cascade. Okay, balik tayo sa X-ray tube. Meron na tayong dalawang types of radiation na na-produce. Magdodrawing ulit ako ng tube dito. Yan. Okay, so again, meron na tayong 1% X-rays na nabuo. And then, meron tayong mga, hindi lahat kasi ng energies na nagawa natin are of high quality. Kaya, filter out natin siya gamit ang aluminum filtration. Your aluminum filtration filter out soft X-rays, or these X-rays are not usable sa ating image formation. Ang tawag dito is your beam hardening effect. Okay, hina-harden natin ang beam para lahat ng lumalabas dito are useful radiation. Ang lahat ng lumalabas dito na beam is termed as your primary beam. And then meron tayong patient dito. Okay, pag tumama ang ating primary beam sa patient, pwede siyang mag-deflect, pwedeng lumabas sa katawan ng pasyente. Ang tawag doon is scattered radiation. Meron ding iba na na-absorb. So, ibang topic na yon, pupunta na yun sa X-rays interaction with matter. Next topic na natin yon. Kapag lumabas dito sa patient, ang tawag dito is exit beam or remnant beam. Okay, so your exit beam and remnant beam now forms your image. Okay, meron pa tayong isang type of radiation dito. Kapag ang radiation lumalabas dito sa tube or sa metal enclosure, ang tawag dito is leakage radiation. Okay, so yun lahat-lahat ng summary natin of X-ray reduction. Any questions, guys? Clarifications? Nagtuturo po kayo sa review center? Yes po. Remarkable Review Center. If you want to see me, go with Remarkable Review Center. Pero positioning kasi ang tinuturo ko sa Remarkable. Okay. Sayang, di naabot. What time magla-live tomorrow? Depende po sa energy natin tomorrow. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng nanood, guys. Before we end the live, I'll just show you my reviewers na nandito sa ating yellow basket. Nasa baba, guys. Sa mga magtitake ng Revalida board exam, you can use these reviewers. I assure you na lahat ng reviewers natin dito are TOS-based or magagamit niya talaga sa RTLE. Especially cluster 3. Yung cluster 3 po natin is basket number 4 and number 5. Basket number 4, yun po yung positioning. Papakita ko na lang. Ang content lang. I'm not selling soft copies, but I'll show you the content of the book. Ito muna yung IPE. Kasi ito yung unang lumabas. Yung IPE natin na book, it's under basket number 6. Ito ang laman nito. Naka-tabled yung ating summaries. And then, yan. From film screen to, guys. Film screen. Yan. Merong mga fast facts dyan. Merong CADRAD, Computed and Digital Radiography ito. Artifacts. Lahat-lahat. Merong practice test din ito sa solvings. Yan. Merong answer keys sa solvings, practice test, yan, test yourself, and lahat ng formulas nandito sa iisang page. And then sa last part, of course, merong Q&A. Kasi nga, if you study for the board exam, ang pinaka-importante talaga is to practice. Okay, so meron din tayong relationships, naka-iisang table, lahat-lahat ng relationships. Lahat yan, guys. Glossary of terms, and last part is the question and answer portion with the answer keys. Okay, and next one. Ito, I don't know if updated na ba ito. Pero papakita ko na lang. Ito yung pinakaunang book na na-release ko talaga is under basket number 4. Ayan. Ito yung mga projections natin, naka-table siya. Merong mga anatomy. Yung anatomy, konting-konti lang, guys. Kasi, ito lang siya. Hindi siya naka-detailed talaga. Pero, you can see here, yung pagle-label ko ng anatomy, merong mga projections and methods. Okay? So, example yan. Paano makikita ang radial neck? So, that's AP oblique, lateral rotation, or coil method na 90-45. Your olecranon process, tatlo yan, elbow lateral Jones and elbow AP axial. Nandito yan din siya sa table. And if you study positioning, make sure na pagsama-samahin nyo ang almost similar structure shown. Example, ito, olecranon process and profile. Diba tatlo yun? Lateral, Jones, and elbow PA axial. Okay, para mas madali. Sa bagong version, yung nasa basket, meron ng mnemonics. Ito kasi yung na-download ko, wala pang mnemonics dito. And then you have space for your notes. Meron na tayong mnemonics, guys. So, kompleto na to, guys. From upper, lower, may skull. Ayan, skull. Meron ding vertebrae, rules of oblique. Nandito lahat. Rules of oblique. And question and answer with answer key. Sa dito. Ayan. Okay. And yung book 2, di ko na-upload ang book 2. Yung book 2 naman natin, it's mammogram, dental, and special procedures. And wala pa tayong rad sciences, pero meron akong hindi ko ba na-add yung Rad Farm flashcards. Your flashcards, kompleto na din siya. Lahat ng radiopharmaceuticals with their half-lives. From SPECT scan to PET scan na radiopharmaceuticals. Kompleto yun siya, guys. Ma'am, sorry, Ma'am Kimi, hindi po ako nagbibigay ng PDF talaga to protect lang my intellectual property. Paano mag-avail? Nasa Yellow Basket po, I'm only selling hard copies. Hindi po ako nagbibigay ng soft copies since nag-publish ako ng books ko. Kasi nga, very rampant kasi ang mga radtex na nagbebenta ng soft copies or yung mga notes. So, I don't want lang na ma-plagiarize po tayo kasi hindi pa authenticated ang book. Parang hindi ko pa siya na pa-publish officially. So, to protect lang din myself and my intellectual property. Kasi lahat po ng books na to, it's my original illustrations, lahat ng summaries, sariling gawa ko po. So, yun. So, yun lang po muna, guys. Intro to Rad, wala po, ma'am. Usually, ang books po natin are good for RTLA takers. Updated book for Posse. Book, basket number 4. Basket number 4 po. Ang basket number 5 po natin is mammogram dental and special procedures. Anong reference? Ballinger Volume 1, 2, and 3. Bontrager. That's for positioning. For IPE naman, I use Bouchon. Mainly Bouchon and Adler. Pero meron sa mga question and answer, gumagamit din ako ng Mosby's Guide. Ano pa ba? Mosby's, Appleton, and Lange Q&A. Bouchon gamit for RTLE. Any edition of Bouchon will do po. Pa-upload ng discussion sa YouTube. I'll check if pwede bang i-upload from TikTok to YouTube. Check ko po. Kasi yung sa TikTok kasi, sobrang konti lang or yung minimal minutes lang ang na-upload. So usually, ang mga ina-upload ko lang dito sa TikTok is yung mga summaries at the end of the discussion lang. Tips and advice when reading Bouchon. Actually, nung nag-aaral po ako, hindi po ako masyadong nagbabasa ng Bouchon kasi hindi ko masyadong maintindihan si Bouchon. So, ang binabasa kong book, ina-alternate ko sila sa, hindi. Mali. Kapag hindi ko maintindihan ang Bouchon, nagbabasa ako ng Adler. So, 'di ba kasi nga yung reference kasi ng Board of Radtech usually is Bouchon. Pero nung nag-aaral ako, sobrang hirap intindihin ng Bouchon. Kaya ang ginagawa ko, guys, nagbabasa muna ako dito sa Adler. Kasi yung Adler kasi mas madali siya for students intindihin. Pero nga lang, merong mga info lang si Bouchon na wala dito sa Adler. So, parang cross-checking ang ginagawa ko. Ito yung, niya guys, Carlton and Adler. How about Huda? Maganda naman po ang Huda. Yung Huda, I think yung Huda para siya sa Rad Sciences. Tama ba? Nakalimutan ko na, pero parang nabasa ko din si Huda. Gagawa po kayo kapag gagawa po kayo ng group chat na kasama po ako, much better siguro kapag sa TikTok na lang po. Kasi ang dami kong group chat sa Messenger sa mga estudyante ko. So, baka lang kayo, ma-spam kayo ng mga estudyante ko. Huda, maganda si Huda. Nakapagbasa ako ng Huda before when I was still a student. Pero yung main reference talaga natin, guys, is Bouchon. Bouchon talaga. Sige, dito na lang muna, guys, ha. I'll see you again tomorrow, maybe, if may time. Or kapag hindi tomorrow, sa susunod. Okay. Bye, guys. See you again next time. Salamat po.